Pulse is standing by right now talking to Vander.
Thank you very much, guys. And you're completely right. I am here with Vander after that win and that 2-0 there. And first off, the first topic I want to hit is, I mean, they were quite kind of slow games, but it felt like Vitality were almost playing into your hands, playing these very slow games with you. So did you just go into the games being like, well, we'll just play an H2K game?
Well, last split H2K was pretty slow, I can say, but in this split I don't think that's the case anymore. With Freeze we tend to like play Ashe, CV, look more for engages, and as well as Draven, right? Like all those picks want to fight a lot. And the second game we knew we outscale our enemies. The Jarvan top, he goes full damage, and we know when my Karma gets some more points in shield, then everyone builds like 1 or 2 defensive items, he can't really do much, and our Gnar was beating him in split push, so we were confident going into late game.
It's cool you actually talking about the Jarvan there. So how do you deal when other teams bring out these like kind of weirder picks? Does it change how you go into the game, or is like we're still going to execute our game plan as normal?
Well, we decided to lane swap this game. They matched, so pick like Jarvan, he's really strong in lane. That's what you have to be careful on, and then if he snowballs the lane, he can roam a lot. He has really good ganks for mid lane actually, like against Ryze, right? If he can push out his lane, roam mid, EQ, and ultimate, yeah, that's dangerous for us. That's why we try to lane swap, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out in the end, obviously. I kind of want to take a step back and look at H2K and kind of the rest of the league right now, because how are you feeling like H2K's weaknesses are coming into the split? Because right now, obviously, you're looking amazing over the last couple weeks, but then you kind of drop the games when kind of opponents are more aggressive. So where do you feel like your weaknesses are right now that you're trying to work on?
I think first week showed us a lot of mistakes we were doing, and that's why we had the 2 ties at the start of the season. I think we fixed a lot of them. Like we tend to do more. Like our big weakness was always when we had our duo lane on mid lane. We didn't really know what to do from this point, and we could see it in the. If someone will watch closely, he will see that we didn't use it correctly in the first week. And yeah, like we try hard. We fix our mistakes. I think against G2 yesterday we could win the second. I mean, we could win the BO2 pretty easily, but the second game was pretty bad early game. Like one of my calls ended really badly, so yeah, I'm sorry for that game.
Well, all worked out in the end there. But I want to ask one last question here, Vander. Talking about Karma, we've seen more and more Karma recently being flexed into mid lane, into support. So when do you pick it? What makes Karma strong?
Karma is really good into Vlad and against picks like Jarvan, for example, because when Jarvan goes in, he has to kill someone. And pretty much every support has like CC and stuff. You can try to CC Jarvan, but if he flash outs or something, then if you miss, then all you can do is like heal or shield. That's why I think Karma brings a lot to the table against picks like this. And she's pretty safe all around. Like she's good lane, she's decent in team fights. So I think it's like a strong blind pick, and she isn't shining in anything. Like for example, Bart has really good catches or team fights, but she's just strong all around. She's just a safe pick.
Well, that's very cool insight. Thank you very much, Vander, and congratulations on the win. We're now going to send it over to the caster desk to take a look at player of the game.
Thanks, Pulse. Great interview on the day. We will indeed take a look at the player of the game, and he was throwing rocks up in that top lane, up in the bottom as well. It's going to be Oda. And yeah, I mean, they took a lot to take him down.
They certainly did. He had a great performance on that Gnar, really demonstrating that he can hold his own with some of the well-known top carries in Europe. And to be fair, I feel like Oda, he has been highlighted, but he's never really been considered this big, impactful top lane hyper carry that H2K have relied on. He's just been this very reliable, very steady top laner that always does his job and always performs.
But he does get some breakout performances, so I feel like he's just kind of quietly earned his way in there. And that's just what's such an impressive thing about this guy, is he never has a really, really bad performance, but he still has that potential to go above and beyond and perform really, really well. And you know, all credit to him, well-deserved player of the game.
Certainly was. And bringing out the Gnar, something that we haven't been seeing very much in competitive, a little bit of a surprise considering how much we did see it in Challenger. But it looks like teams slowly adapting and picking that up, and we'll have to see if they continue on that moving into next week's games.
We will indeed. If H2K can keep themselves ahead of the curve on that one for sure. So I'm really curious to see what next week brings. It's definitely looking like it's heating up really, really competitive here in Europe, especially on that middle of the table. Those teams still trying to find a lot of identity for themselves, but you know, the top are really starting to move away from the pack.
They really are. And Just to demonstrate that, we actually have a final fight of that final game to demonstrate how much further ahead H2K were of Vitality. This was basically the final fight that decided the game. Mighty Bear eats the stun, trying to save Police, and it was a really good tempered fake coming out from Kasing, followed up by the really good ultimate by the Vladimir, but Police being denied the ability to get any damage down. And we see the power of this Karma pick, really denying the ability for Vladimir or Jarvan to actually get the kills down that they needed. And it was really interesting hearing that insight from Vander about how good Karma is into these champions that just want to try and quickly one-shot and get on top of you. And it was really interesting to see, and he made it work. Overall, the team of H2K worked together, and they came up with a pretty dominant win.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that looked incredibly well-oiled, and you can expect some really great things from them going forward. For now, though, we are going to go ahead and send you guys over to stream numero uno, where Giants and OG are just starting out in their final series here in the LCS for the Week 3.